Hello DeFi Alpha Crew, my name is Seb, and today we're going to be going over the GenesysGo Shadow IDO launch, which is happening in just a couple of hours. It's going to be going for 24 hours, and they are basically a Solana infrastructure provider, and they do all the RPC nodes. And RPC stands for Remote Procedure Call, and it's kind of like your connection between a wallet and the dApp to the blockchain. As an example, if you think of a blockchain like a motorway, and all these side roads and on-ramps, the RPC is the on-ramp thing that kind of pushes everything, merges it into the blockchain. So super important. I found out about these guys a little while ago, like maybe May. Essentially, what are these guys doing? They're doing decentralized storage. And I'm going to try and make this pretty fast so that I can get all the information to you damn quickly and you kind of keep interest. But it can be talked about for hours. They literally do AMAs like an hour and a half a day. And this big deep dive with Nox trades, I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. And even then, an hour and 36 minutes. And even then, like there's stuff that's not covered. So I'm trying to give you all that kind of information really quick. So I'm not editing this, so apologies for that. In 1 hour it begins. You need USDC on the Solana network. So make sure you have USDC and you have USDC and a little bit of Solana for gas. So if you have a Phantom wallet, that's probably the most commonly used wallet. There's this little purple one up here. And you can get USDC from FTX, I think Gate.io, a couple of other exchanges, and Binance will allow you to get USDC onto the network via the Solana network. So a couple of images, there's going to be 200 million tokens, and half the supply goes to NFT holders. And these are brilliant tokenomics. Like I've never seen a project with such good tokenomics. So I don't even have one of these NFTs because I got one and sold it. But nevertheless, my bad. There are some people that have like 100, and they're just smart whales. So they were minted these NFTs for like 2.5 SOL, and the current floor price is like 90 SOL, and they get half of all the tokens. And then a little bit of reserve for strategy. The IDO pool is 15%. Even that is, quite generous. Quite often, tokens in general, they have like freaking 1.5%. It's just stupid. And then shadow operator emissions. So people that are running the network, they get 10%. And this bonus goes to the NFT holders if they stake the NFT for 12 months. Quick little segue into what like a server looks like on Solana. That's next level. And anyone that's into ETH, and I love ETH myself, but people are going to look at this and say, we can't run that on your basement, or run that in your office. Therefore, it's too hard to get the network decentralized. And there is an element, but this is what you need in order to make things work. Like, so many people still use, Google. I use Google. They take your data and everything, but they're convenient, they're fast, they get what's done. This here is massive, and they have to be in special servers, special like network centers around the world in order to make things happen. And they use this for the validators and also the RPC machines. And the RPC machine will also have the same configuration as the Shadow Network storage system. This is a GitHub here. These are just the public repos. Obviously can't see the private ones. None of this is really important, but keep an eye on that, because I imagine after this IDO, you're going to start to see some more public stuff, and just these little green ticks. This is when commits happen. It's really good when you see a lot, lots of activity. This is their main website for GenesysGo. They help validators come into existence. So they helped the DGen apes with theirs, and they do a lot of the RP servers, which are all free at the moment. And I think they're going to be free for ages. This is the floor price, as I mentioned, in I think like end of October, beginning of November. This is when these went live. When they went and were minted for like 2.5 SOL. Now it's at 39x, so that's pretty important. Pretty epic. Google Big Table is what's used these days to store 60 terabytes of kind of like older data from the blockchain from Solana, because it can't stay on validators. This is the first thing. They want to get this data onto the Shadow network, because this is a single point of failure. And, it costs like 10 grand a month or whatever to even host the data, which probably isn't that much considering what they need it for, but like it has issues, and obviously Google could just change the terms of service. Unlikely, but then you'd be screwed. When you're actually going into the IDO, all we need to know is you need USDC, a little bit of Sol as connected, as covered, and you need to connect your Phantom wallet or whatever Solana wallet you like. And it's a little bit different to Mango or Rory IDOs if you're familiar with those, but it's better. So you put in your money and you deposit it and you cannot take it out. With the other system, you could take it out, and it meant that VCs could rush in there, put in a frick ton of money, and then use a bot to withdraw it right beforehand. And it got more people to ape in, which was silly, which was good for the VCs and silly for retail, which is like how most things go. So once you put it in, after 24 hours, so you don't have to wake up at 1 a.m. or anything silly like that, you just put it in, and then the next day you can go and claim. So all these links will be below, but basically they're just on the GenesysGo medium. An accurate comparison would be Arweave. Arweave is, a blockchain storage decentralized solution which works on Solana, but not like brilliantly. We, first kind of tokens were like peanuts, and the market cap was low, and now it's like a $2.9 billion market cap, and it's down 33%. And nothing against Arweave. They're doing God's work in many ways with Solana. However, they're one solution and they're not up to scratch. So, competition is good. You want competition. Now, this comprehensive guide is well worth going through. I've highlighted some things, but it's going to take me too long to read them, so I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. 30 million tokens, 15% for the IDO, as discussed. GenesysGo, the reason why I mentioned that I knew them is because they are established. They've been building, they've built 300 kind of RPC servers or validators that are doing a lot of stuff. The projects they're powering from the RPC perspective is massive. And they are, like I said, they do so many AMAs, and I try to kind of get a little bit of information out of Frank, who's one of the co-founders. But it was too hard to get it just shorthand. You need to spend hours to get it all. So it's going to be hard to keep this under 12 minutes, but I'll do my best. Team Stephen and Frank, and the new couple new devs, and Mr. Levi Cook, who is behind Metaplex Handy Machine version 1, one of the people behind it. Smart dev. I've had chats with him. So the Shadow Network is a decentralized RPC network. Shadow Drive, the storage. Shadow Node, that's going to be like the computer system, basically like a kind of validator that's not validating, just providing this storage solution. And then a Shadow operator will be rewarded with a Shadow token who owns and or operates one of those. Obviously, the goal is to have, as a KPI, is to have more and more operators computing on the network, and to obviously incentivize. So, the Shadow, there's a reason to obviously support this network, which is, of course, intelligent. Lots of good slides to go through if you've got time. We don't. This is just a quick alpha session. TLDR, Solana needs an optimized storage solution that protects the integrity of the consensus when storing the data. The starting price is 50 cents per token. It will go a lot higher than that. I'll go over that at the end though. And Arweave, as an example, they raised 22 million between two IDOs, and they have a market cap of 2.2 billion, which is nuts. It's silly. Now, Arweave is available on other chains. But there's no reason why, after they haven't nailed Solana, that they could go into other chains. But I kind of think it's going to be a little bit like the Phantom wallet. If you're familiar, they are a multi-chain ambition wallet, and they were planning on going to Ethereum much earlier, like last year, and then Solana just blew up. So in some ways, you're going to be so busy on Solana because it can handle so much traffic. Their plan is to have 50% of the Shadow going to storage, for storage going to Shadow operators. The other 50% goes to Shadow Protocol, the GenesysGo team, which is completely fair in the onset. They will eventually form a proper DAO. Maybe that comes 70 or 70%, 30%. Whatever happens, people will end up deciding. What could be used for this? It could be not just you hosting NFTs, which is obviously the first kind of major thing, but then it could be, music, your personal files, your OneNote files, that sort of stuff that you would keep on. Other things you would keep on, something like this. And then hopefully a decentralized YouTube. Now, the crazy thing about Arweave is they ask users to pay 200 years worth of storage for 8,200 per terabyte. Whereas, you want to be charged monthly, yearly, something like that. And if you stop paying, then it gets deleted. That would be the best way. So that's kind of what their goal is. They will have a staking mechanism similar to Filecoin, which means that if you lose or damage some data, then you'll lose some of your stack. And that's all for this one. A little bit on the tokenomics. Basically, IDOs get flooded all the time because they get, botted, or it's just stupid, or VCs are smart and VCs dump afterwards. Will this happen with this one? I doubt it. They doubt it too. People thought that their NFT was going to go below mint price because it's not like it doesn't fit the narrative, but it has a different narrative, and that narrative is actual things to help everything work. Quickly into Orca now. On the 5th of January, 4th or 5th of January, you'll be able to do some farming on Orca by either providing Shadow and USDC or Shadow and Sol. Entirely up to you. If you do that, no idea what the returns will be. I will probably do a very small amount, but we'll go into that in a second. Finally, use Jupiter.ag. So Jupe.ag, it's an aggregator, so you can swap, Serum, Orca, Radium, Mercurial, all these different sources on the one location. It will give you all the routes. When you're doing your swaps, come here and do it. You can use Orca if it's like a small swap, like, $200, but if you're doing like $10,000 or something like that, you'd probably want to come here once everything goes live. And now this is a little bit of information on the spreadsheet. As we know, 3rd of Jan, this is when it all takes off. The NFT is currently worth 90 Sol, about 15,600. The original price was $400 at 2.5 Sol. It's a 39x, and you can sell it for 81 Sol, which is 14,000, meaning there's a 9 Sol kind of commission, like royalty and fee. Remember, you can get 10,000 tokens and a max of 13,000 in a 12-month period if you stake one of these. The floor on these is probably going to rise, to be perfectly honest. So it's not going to be a good time to get one of these. It'd be great if it fell, but it's not going to happen. Too many smart people with money realize that you got to back builders, and these are proven builders, and they will spend their war chest to make this thing happen, because then they'll make a lot of money and they'll help Solana tremendously. Anyway, the NFT perks, they give you DAO access and Discord, and obviously you get your tokens every day. So you get tokens vested on daily at probably 27.4 tokens per day, like it's 10,000 for a year. That's the math. You have to stake them. You stake them in a smart contract. If it's not staked, then you don't actually get them. You still get them eventually, but you'll have to get them once you stake. So exactly how that's all worked out, unsure. But another thing is, apparently when you go and sell it on a marketplace, probably the marketplace will end up showing how many tokens they have remaining to claim. Total supply, we've gone over 200 mil. IDO will be 50%. Starts at 50 cents. They will definitely all be sold. Will be 15 million. My prediction as a price is $1.50 to $2.50. I would like it to be that low. If anyone's watching this after the fact, just know, dollar cost average. It's you probably haven't missed this unless it's like at $50 a token, and then maybe you've missed the boat. So they're going to make probably 45 to 75 million off this. Just a reminder, not financial advice. The IDO is open for 24 hours. You place a bid in USDC, and at the end, the price is calculated. So as an example, you have $50 million worth of bids, and there are 30 million tokens. It works out to be $1.66 per token, and everyone pays that. No one, doesn't matter if you get in early, you're not paying 50 cents, and the last people paying $1.66. Everyone pays that, so that's fine. No VCs, just the NFT holders. And there are some whales out there with 100 NFTs. I've already done the Arweave comparison. Yeah, the competition is ripe for taking on, to be honest. Now, my strategy, and this is not financial advice, and let's say I went in with 1,000. I'm going to do more than 1,000, but let's say it was 1,000. So 90% of my planned amount at IDO, so $900 would go in. It'd be committed in 2 commits, so one when I wake up and then one before the IDO ends. The reason why before the IDO ends is if all of a sudden this price is like 80 cents, then I'm probably going to up my 1,000 to like 1,500 or something. But I don't think people are sleeping. I just want them to sleep because they won't be sleeping in a couple of months' time. I'll hold another 10% to see if there's a first dip down. I'm not expecting a dip down, and I might not even do this depending on the price of it, but my point is, if you're a little bit more reserved, you may want to dollar cost average in the small amount. In terms of orca farming and permit loss, if you're not familiar with that, there's a linked playlist which is mega long but super valuable. It will save you hundreds and thousands if you farm. any token which has a likelihood of pumping, you don't want to actually provide liquidity for. You'll provide a little bit of liquidity if the rewards are juicy. I don't think the rewards are going to be super juicy with this one. I'll probably provide like 15%. However, most of it I will not be providing at all. You will have impermanent loss that will be substantial. Impermanent loss is a bad name for it. It's basically, it's loss. It's permanent loss. Anyway, that's all for this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you're jumping in, let me know why. If not, let me know why. Keen to hear some views. Thanks for watching. Cheers.